how the earth was brought to life. It is absolutely divine that life arises on planets that have a long stable period in prospect. Young life that evolves and intertwines with its unique place in the universe will progress to intelligent moral beings. The crown of creation. This is absolutely divine. People are made in His image, and an entity of the Heavenly Father lives in your consciousness. Every person has been given a unique personality by his Heavenly Father, and God is in contact with all these personalities. Every person is very valuable to Him. You animate His creation, and the eternal adventure of the relationship between Him and a God-knowing person feeds the eternal source of His goodness. When a planet has become stable, and when it is evaluated positively to the point where it's able to support potential life, then it is incorporated into a divine plan to roll out this promise. This plan aims to eventually bring forth creatures who are capable of will, intelligent beings who have the divine mission to perfect creation. Life never arises spontaneously. Life is constructed according to plans, drawn up by the architects of being. These spiritual beings, whom we will further refer to here as life carriers, are under the supervision of the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days are like the supreme judge of the cosmos, and they are the only ones with the authority to destroy intelligent life. The life carriers have the task of devising and guiding all processes in the development of new life. They design the patterns of living beings with great patience and meticulousness, and do so by weaving into them all the earthly constants present. Constants such as, for example, atmospheric pressure, the percentage of oxygen in the air, the seasons, the influence of the sun, the cycle of the moon, and the length of a day. They construct life and also have the power to experiment with it. Through their efforts, life on Earth has become possible. Life is designed to fit seamlessly into its environment by being infused with the many influences emanating from Earth. The vital spark, the mystery of life, does not come from the life carriers. They oversee the surrounding life, they formulate the actual plasma, but it is the Spirit of God who provides the essential factor. Actual life begins when the breath of life is breathed in, and this Creator Spirit also grants the gift of consciousness. Life comes from the Father, through the Son, and is breathed in by the Spirit. During the eras between the establishment of life and the genesis of human creatures of moral status, the life carriers are permitted to manipulate the environment of life and otherwise direct the course of biological evolution in a favorable direction. Accordingly, they do so over a long period of time. However, once the life carriers have succeeded in bringing forth a willful being, who is capable of making moral decisions and spiritual choices on its own, their work ends at that point. They may not manipulate the new developing life any further. From this point on, the evolution of living things must continue in accordance with their own nature and tendencies already bestowed in the life formulas and patterns of that planet. Eventually, man will take over the task of the life carriers, with the goal of participating in the perfection of creation. When on the seventh day God completed His work that He had made, He rested from all His work that He had made. And that is how life arose on your earth. 550 million years ago, conditions on Earth had improved to the point where it was capable of sustaining long-term life. The continental plates had separated and begun to drift apart. Ocean water had also reached a degree of salinity essential to ensure life. Jesus Christ, your Creator, the King of the universe, sent a task force of life carriers to Earth. Your science hardly thinks about the power and intelligence behind evolutionary processes. It labels this as coincidence, but in reality, there is inlaid divine intelligence behind almost all changes. Although ascending genetic sequences can be discerned within the plant and animal kingdoms that progressively pass from the very simplest to the more advanced organisms, you will not be able to find such connecting links between species. These so-called missing links will always be missing for the simple reason that they have never existed. From era to era, entirely new species of animal life appear. These do not evolve as a result of a gradual accumulation of small variations. Rather, they appear suddenly ready-made as a new order of life. The sudden appearance of new species of living organisms is entirely biological. Superadaptation is very rare but perfectly natural. There is nothing supernatural associated with such genetic mutations, other than that they have been placed there by life carriers. All this did not happen automatically. There were heavy periods of catastrophe, during which existing life was almost completely wiped out. In the period referred to by your science as the Jurassic period, the imploding of the seabed poisoned the seawater for a long time. Prior to this catastrophe, the already well-developed marine life counted more than 100,000 species, of which less than 500 survived. However, life was designed with great patience and wisdom, and guaranteed by evolutionary advance. Strong and vital, it can be dented far and wide, only to spring back again through its restorative capacity. The same applies to your consciousness. You are spiritually designed, willed by the Heavenly Father. Your body is like materialized spirituality. The resilience in this is also at all levels in human consciousness. When man came, creation on your planet was at an end. Now it is your job to go and perfect creation as a good steward. You were created in His image, and now it is man's turn to materialize their spiritual thoughts. And do not doubt, because on one day by doing His will, they will perfect creation. Eventually, primitive people emerged on Earth, capable of making their own decisions. They lived in tribes and their populations grew rapidly. In your science, these peoples are known as the Foxhall people, the Neanderthals, and the Badanan tribes. The latter settled in India, and from them suddenly emerged the colored races.